Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of 1 Peter, and I'm up to chapter 1, verse 13. So we have here, verse 17, I should say. Kai e patera epikalesti ton aprosopolemptos, krinon te kata to hekastu ergon, in phobo ton tes paroikias humon chronon anastraphete. I'll just pause it there. It is a for if, can also have the meaning of since. So it's either and since, or perhaps if you prefer. Epikaleste, this is the middle from epikaleo, has the sense to call upon or to invoke. And it's middle, so it's to call upon for one's own benefit. It's got a middle sense to it. So if, or perhaps since, you invoke, you call upon a father, that is God, to, the one, and that goes with the krinonta, then we have an adverb in between. This is the prosopolemptos with an alpha privative. It's from prosopon, the face, and the lamp connected with lambano. There are lots of nouns and verbs and abstract nouns and so on formed from these roots in the New Testament. Prosopolempsia means partiality. It's not almost but not quite to take something at face value, so it's a bit more than that. So it has a sense of partiality, and it's a very common expression, or roots of this type very common in the New Testament. Here we've got alpha privative, so it's impartiality. So if or since you invoke a father, who, the one judging, so we say who judges impartially, adverb, according to hekastu ergon, the work of each man. This writer likes to, which is quite a part of the rhetorical style here, to separate off the article and then put something in between. That's very standard, better Greek. So if all that, or since all of that, now we get anastraphete, which is from anastrepho. We've had the abstract noun earlier, meaning conduct, way of life. So this is the verb from this. So it's a subjunctive here. So conduct yourself with fear, or perhaps in fear. Now the ton goes with the chronon. It's a time clause here. So conduct yourself with fear, or in fear, for the time of your paroikias. We've had this word before here, of your sojourning. It's an abstract noun, paroikia. So just to do that bit quickly, so since you call upon a father who judges without impartiality according to the work of each man, conduct yourself in or with fear for the time of your sojourning. Eidotes hoti euphthatois agurio kai crucio elutrothe ti ectes matias humon anastrophes patra paradotu alatimio haimati hos amnu amomu kai aspilu Christu. Just pause it there. So knowing that, this is a participle from oida, knowing that, now the main verb is, although despite the comma, the main verb is here. This is from lutroo, it's an omicron contract verb, to ransom, and this is the aorist passive here from lutroo, second person plural. So knowing that you have been redeemed, or you were redeemed, from the vain conduct of you. So again, we've got separation of this bit from the noun it goes with. Here's the anastrophe again. So from your vain conduct that was patra paradotu, that was handed down from your ancestors. This is an adjective. It's from patra, from pater, patros, of course, and paradidomi. It's an adjective. Now, it's a compound adjective, so it's two terminations. So it ends in "u", despite the fact it's going with anastrophe, which is feminine. So knowing that you have been redeemed from your vain way of life, your vain conduct, which has been handed down from your ancestors, literally from your father. Probably ancestor is better here. You were redeemed phthartois, not by things which are corruptible. This is from phthero, to destroy. So phthartos is an adjective. Things which are corruptible, and then in apposition to that we get things of silver or of gold. But again, understand this main verb here is very important. You were redeemed, not by that, but by the precious blood from Timios, and then haimati, from the precious blood Christou of Christ, as amnu amomu kai aspilu. Notice all the alpha sounds here. Greek likes to do this. This is assonance, so it's amnu amomu kai aspilu. So, but by the precious blood as of a lamb which is blameless and spotless. This is alpha privative again. So amomos is a very old Homeric adjective meaning blameless. In Homer it can have more the sense of royal or special, royal. Aspilos, again alpha privative, plus this idea of a spot, aspilos. This is connected with the verb amomai, to blame, and so we get amomos, blameless. So as of a blameless and spotless lamb. So quickly redoing that again. So knowing that not by corruptible things, by gold, silver and gold, you have been redeemed from your vain way of life, which was passed down from your ancestors, but by the precious blood of Christ, as though from a blameless and spotless lamb. Proegnos menu, let's go to a new page, proegnos menu. So this is from pro and of course ginosko, and it's in genitive in apposition with, it's a genitive here in apposition with Christou. So Christ, the one being made known beforehand. Now we get a men, and there's the balancing de here. So he was made known beforehand, or perhaps having known beforehand, or perhaps having been made known beforehand, pro kataboles, before the foundation, literally the throwing down, the laying down of the cosmos. So on the one hand, before the foundation of the cosmos, but di humas, on your account, at the last of times, literally. So we've got on the one hand being made known before the foundation of the world, but being made manifest, being made visible at the last of times on account of you. And then in apposition to that we get tous di autu, you who, di autu, through him. Pistos can mean faithful, is one of the usual meanings. It can also mean believing in. So you, the ones believing through him, believing in. You do get pistuo, the verb, you get it with various things. You can get pistuo plus the dative. You can get pistuo ace, which is very common in John, I think. You get pistuo en, you get pistuo epi. Here we're getting the adjective with eis. So the ones through him believing in God, the one having raised him, so this is in opposition to theon, from the dead, and the one having given glory to him. Again, a little bit of stylistic effort here. They've got the two participles beginning and ending the whole section. So having raised him from the dead, and then put the second participle at the end, having given glory to him. Hosti plus the infinitive, so with the result that. So it's so that your faith and hope, from elpis, might be in God. You often get eis and en used interchangeably in later Greek, and so it's sort of in God, or with perhaps with respect to God, in the direction of God. So you, the ones believing through him, the ones believing in God, the one having raised him from the dead and having given glory to him, so that your faith and hope might be in God. Tas psukas humon he gnikotes en te hypokoetes aletheas eis Philadelphian an hypokriton. Ek katharos kardias alelus agapesiti ek tenos. Ana gegenei menoi uk en exporas phthartes, ala aphtha tu dialogu zontos theou kai menontes. So the next paragraph here, this is a perfect participle from hagnisdo. You may know hagnos, holy. This is the hagnisdo, to make holy. So, having purified your souls, literally in the obedience of the truth, with respect or leading to a Philadelphian brotherly love which is without hypocrisy. Just to go over that bit there. So having purified your souls. Now en could also have the meaning of by, so it's by the obedience, literally in the obedience or by the obedience. And now we get perhaps a defining genitive here, obedience to the truth. And eis is often used with the sense of result, so resulting in brotherly love, and this of course is alpha privative with a linking nu, and you get hypokriton, we get our word hypocrite and so on from that. So without hypocrisy, so perhaps sincere is another way of translating this. So resulting in sincere brotherly love. So having done that, and now we get an imperative, agapesite, love one another from, and in brackets we've got katharas going with kardias, from a pure heart, and an adverb, ektenos, fervently. This word occurs in accents in the Septuagint. It's from ekteno, it literally to stretch out or to reach out. It has the sense of doing something fervently. So, having done all that, love one another from a pure heart, fervently. Anna gegenei menoi, this is from Anna, and then the verb is genao, to beget, and this is a passive here, so it's having been born again, not from a corruptible seed. So the Greeks had this concept of with intercourse, the seed is passed into the woman, the seed grows and produces a child, and they often use spero, sowing of intercourse and so on in classical Greek. So it's not from a corruptible seed, but from an incorruptible one. Now you'll notice that the spora is a feminine noun, and yet we're getting the u. That's because this is another one of these compound adjectives, and so it's two termination. It's alpha plus this phthar root from phthero, to destroy or corrupt. So this actually must go with this, despite the ending here. It's a two-termination adjective. So being born again, not from a corruptible seed, but from an incorruptible one, dia logu, through the word, which the living word, this I think must go with logu, to the living word of God, and the word which is menontos, not a genitive participle here, I think agreeing still with logon. So through the word which of the living God, and the word which is abiding, which is remaining. Di hoti, now we get a quotation now from Isaiah 40 verses 6 to 8. Di hoti passa sax hos kortos kai passa doxa autes hos anthos kortu ex aranthe ho kortos kai to anthos ex epesen todirema kuriu mene eis tonaiona. And this is a fairly famous quotation that occurs elsewhere in the New Testament. So all flesh is as grass, and all its glory is as literally the flower of grass, flower which comes from grass. And the grass exaranthe, from xerino is the verb, and this is an aorist passive, but you often get passives being used in active sense, often in a causative sense. So the grass withers, xerino, the grass withers, and the flower ex epesen literally falls out, often translated as fades. The Hebrew word behind this has both meanings of falling out or fading of a plant. It's from ek pipto, the aorist is epison. So the grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of, now kuriu in the Septuagint generally, not always, but most of the time, when you see kuriu, it often reflects Yahweh in the original Hebrew. Rhema is formed from the aorist passive of the verb lego, which is wraithane, and so they take the root of that, wraith, and then the labial beta becomes a labial nasal when you turn it into a noun here, so it means the word. So the word of God, mene, remains to the age, so forever. This is the Rhema, the word, the one having been proclaimed as good news. This is a neuter passive participle from euangelizdamai. So this is the word which is the good news having been proclaimed, eis humas, to you. And that's the end of chapter 1.